Okie dokie dokie. Okie dokie dokie. Oh, Lordy. Howdy, this is Fat Steve. And let's talk about the forgotten prep, because you forgot. You forgot the beer. What are you going to do when you run out of beer? Let's take a look at what you need for your beer prep. The first thing you need for your beer prep is fermenters. Now right here we got a 6-quart or about 5.5 liter fermenter, and with this you will need a bubbler. It goes in, and a spigot. Now the spigot goes in this hole, and the bubbler goes in the hole on the lid. And you put a little water in there, keeps the air out. But that's all there is to a fermenter. Now, when shit hits the fan, you're going to need more than one of these, because it takes me about 2 weeks to get your basic ferment done. Now, you're supposed to, theoretically, you're supposed to let that sit in the bottle and blend and let the delicate flavors marry. I'm not sure that's going to happen. You're going to have a bunch of people wanting beer, and you're going to want to trade beer for things. So, you need to have, like, here's a couple of, like I said, them's 6-quart fermenters, and here's a couple of 2-gallon fermenters. This is a Mr. Beer barrel, and see, unlike the other fermenter, this one does not have a hole in the lid. This one doesn't take a bubbler. Now what this got is little cuts. Got little cuts in the rim, and that lets out just enough air, or I should say carbon dioxide, to keep it from exploding. Now, what else do we have? Now, if you do not have proper fermenters, you can make field expedient fermenters. Now, this fermenter was made out of a big sun tea jar, and I just drilled a hole there for a bubbler. I got a bubbler for the hole, and I got a better spigot for it, because the spigot that comes with this wasn't very good. I like these Mr. Beer spigots. I like to get a lot of stuff from Mr. Beer. There's other places you can get things, but Mr. Beer is a good place to get things. Oh! Another field expedient fermenter, I made one out of these pickle jars. Well, pickle fermenting jars. So instead of working the Grolsch top, what I did was set it down there and wrap the rubber band around it. And that held it closed enough that germs didn't get in, but loose enough that it could vent without exploding. Now, other things you might need are these bottles. Now, you probably won't need a lot of these for shit hits the fan, because you probably just take a glass out of the tap, and you won't be giving away any of these bottles. If somebody comes up and wants some beer, they better bring their own washed out soda pop bottle. You can put that up to the spigot, but you're not giving away any of your good bottles. And of course, any PTFE bottle will do, although you can't see to fill these up very well. There's a nice 500 milliliter PTFE bottle that will work just fine for beer. It's nice and heavy, and these 750 milliliters, which are made for beer. Now, you're going to need a little extra this and that. Right here are some a supply of whiskey corks, supply of larger corks in case you happen to need those. And if you want to get fancy with your brewing, you have some adjuncts like rose hips, add some vitamin C, and juniper berries, add some flavor. Ginger root, that makes a nice holiday beer. And what else we got going here? Carbonation drops for your bottles. When you move your beer from your fermenter into your bottle, you drop one of these here sugar cubes in there, and there's some sugar pills. Right here is some old-time pop bottle sealers. You got a little lever on there that expands it, expanding pop bottle sealers. There's some more bubblers. You can never have too many of those. You always need spares. Okay, here is extra bottle lids. Some even say Mr. Beer on them. Here's some new unused bottle lids. Here's a nice pack of plastic champagne corks. Yeah, that comes in real handy. If you happen to need a hole in your cork, here's some graduated cork holders. This is really more for scientific stuff. That's a different prep. This is, of course, your little postage scale for hops. Yeah, of course, you'll probably just want to throw in a bunch of hops, not delicate flavor, just to throw them in by a handful. Hops are good. Hops like these Falconer's Flight 7Cs. It's got an alpha of 10%, so it's got a lot of preservative acids in it. So you want a lot of preservative in your beer if you want to put any back. But as I said, I don't know how long you're putting your beer back for in the case of shit hitting the fan. Now, if you want to boil some adjuncts into your beer, like hops for flavoring, you're going to need some, what are these? There's a cheesecloth bag. There's a nice couple of cheesecloth bags. Those are good for a boil. And then there's something a little coarser. That's more like a laundry bag. And those are good for putting things in and washing them if you want to throw stuff in your dishwasher. And these here are some, I think these are orange bags. And those two are good for throwing stuff in the dishwasher. That way the little parts don't fall down. And of course there's different kinds of hops. There's a smaller kind of hops I was using for a different batch. Cascade. Now this it's got an alpha rating of 7.1%, but you'll find that Cascade hops are a very common variety. You probably should have these in the fridge, but here. And of course you can't do any fermenting without yeast. Now this here is a Lavin K1V1116, and this is pretty good. I made some beer with this is very high alcohol content. Now it was deader than a door nail, but it is a very malty, high alcohol content. I had quite a bit of hops in it, but the maltiness just overpowered it. You couldn't really taste the hops that much. I dare say that if you condensed it down more, it'd be like a malt flavored syrup for your pancakes. It's like alcohol syrup. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. I'm still drinking that. And here's an extra lid for the Mr. Beer fermenters. And you don't want to run short, because you're not going to be able to get extra parts. Now, right here are a bunch of eyedroppers. And this we got 2, 4, 6, 8. These are 8 eyedroppers I picked up. And the reason I did it is because you like to drop some, what you call chlorine, into water to purify it. Because you got to have these things clean when you go to ferment. Even though some say ferment is itself a bacteria, nevertheless, you gotta start out clean, and these droppers can help you put in the right amount of chlorine. It'll measure stuff out. Okay, and in this bag we have some extra spigots. Now these spigots came out of other items. I think there's 2 of these spigots came out of the sun tea jars, and 2 of these spigots came out of the other fermenters, the 6-quart fermenters, and I didn't like the spigots. I saved them in case I needed them, but I like the Mr. Beer spigots, so I just bought some extra spigots for Mr. Beer. Now, right here we have a couple of large stoppers with holes in them, and that might be good for, I don't know, fermenting off of carboy. And this looks like well, here's some extra parts. There's a couple of pieces of hose cut off. There's half a grow slit. I must have had 3 of these at one time. I must have broke one, because that looks like a ring that would fit in one of these. Okay, I don't remember. And this is a nice piece of CO2 hose. 6-foot gas line red, but I was using it for siphoning, so that's what that is. But now that you see the equipment, you got to have your ingredients as well. And so you need to stock back your basic ingredients. Now here's some fresh yeast. This is Red Star Premier Classic, and it's a wine yeast, and it's a Premier Cuvée, and it's also a wine yeast. Wine yeasts are good for brewing high alcohol beer, and that helps to preserve it. Okay, here's some more Premier Cuvée, and what have we got? And the main ingredient in beer is liquid malt extract. I know a lot of people talk about you sparging the grain and stuff like that, and I have equipment to do that, But it occurs to me that in a shit hit the fan scenario, it's really going to be too much hassle to do that. I mean, it's too big a hassle now, so why would I want even more hassle if there's trouble? So this stuff, you just dump one of these in. You warm it up a little bit. You pour it in one of these fermenters. This is about right. Okay. Now this I got, this wheat liquid malt extract. I got on extra sale because somebody picked up a pallet that had been dropped and they're all dented and busted up inside. So that's the way to get them extra cheap. I got it off of label peelers. Went down label peelers, and they usually have some good sales there. I get a lot of stuff at Mr. Beer, but there are a lot of places you can buy liquid malt extract from. And label peelers has quite a variety of things on sale on a fairly regular basis. And I picked up like 4 of these 1.5 kilogram cans. Is 3.3 pounders. I mean, that's enough there to brew 2 pounds or 2 gallons and then some. That's enough there for one of these 2-gallon things and then some. So you're gonna have a little higher alcohol content if you use them big cans. Now these little packets I've been playing with, I mean, aside from the yeast. Now this is Burton water salts. It says add 1 package to 5 gallons just prior to the boil. It contains papain and ginseng. This is just something to harden up your water. Because if your water is too processed, it's not going to make good beer. You need to add some salts and some minerals or something like that. And if you want to make your beer even a little bit better, you can add some wormwood. That's always good. You can boil that in your beer. And seeds of paradise are always something nice you can add to your beer. You grind that up in a mortar and pestle and just throw that in. Don't even filter it out. Some more dried wormwood. Gives you a nice narcotic effect. Oh, there's some more Cascade pellets. What do we got in here? Oh, got some calcium chloride. Throw a little of that in there. That's good for your water too. 1 teaspoon per 5 gallons. Okay, here's brewer's sea salt. 1/4 of an ounce per 5 gallons the last 10 minutes of boil. Let's try to put this stuff back in its box. I've got 4 of these wheat cans of malt extract, and so that's probably enough for like 5 gallons of beer if you want to stretch it. But they make a nice good alcohol content in your 2 gallon. In your 2 gallon fermenters. So it's Depends on whether you're having guests or brewing it for yourself. If you want it to stretch out, you probably want to split one of those cans between a couple of these fermenters, a couple of these big fermenters. And then you can add some hop pellets and boil it for flavor. And let's see what else we got going down here. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Here's more. Here's more proper beer making equipment. Plenty of cans of this beer booster. See, instead of just adding extra malt, you can add a packet of this Mr. Beer Brewmax Booster. It's 56% maltose, 20% higher saccharides, 16% maltose, and 8% dextrose. We'll keep indefinitely in clean, dry area. Have a bunch of packs of these. So you can stretch that malt out by just using a little bit of the malt and throwing the booster in. It's an entirely legitimate thing to do. Man, I got a lot of this booster. Yeah, I'll bet you could brew this booster. I almost skipped the malt altogether. Okay, what else we got here? No rinse cleaner. It's important. It's important to keep your fermenters clean, otherwise it's going to go sour on you. Now here we have some different kinds of malt. We don't have just wheat. This is a Mr. Beer Grand Bohemian Czech Pilsner, and you notice this is a much smaller can than the other can. This is 1.87 pounds, and if you peel this lid off the top of it, there's a little package of brewing yeast right underneath this lid. And see, now one of these is technically the right size for one of these. You don't need to add a booster, but of course you'll want to. And see, I find it cheaper to wait till things go on sale, and they had a variety pack of these International Series on sale. And I've already been into it, but then here's your St. Patrick's Irish Stout, and you got a Canadian Blonde, and Oktoberfest Lager, and you don't need nothing else. All you actually need to do is dump a can of this into one of these 2 gallon fermenters. You start up that little yeast packet that's under the lid here, dump that in, put the lid on, set it on top of your refrigerator, Leave it there for a week or 2 or 3 or 4, depending on what you're making. Oh, Aztec Mexican Cerveza. So that's all I have left of the international pack that I bought. It's the Canadian Blonde, the St. Patrick Stout, the Mexican Cerveza, the Grand Bohemian Czech Pilsner with the lid on, put the frame in. I had 8, now I don't. Oktoberfest lager, put that away. And then I just gotta put all this stuff away and stuff it back in where it goes. Now, what I find handy is to store a lot of this stuff in these old Omaha Steaks coolers. They're just cheap little things that come with your Omaha Steaks. I occasionally like to take advantage of their hamburger sales, because they have really good hamburgers, and if they're selling them on deep discounts, I find those are pretty good. Life's too short to eat cheap hamburgers, particularly if I'm on a diet. And I'm on a diet. So, you know, you only allowed so much of this and so much of that. Well, that does it today. I'll catch you next time. Oh, we'll see what other terrible mistake you can make. Oh. Uh-huh.